Welcome back to Knox. We're going to go for a little track walk, and I'm joined by my good friend Jason Bormack, True Vintage RC. Mate, we're going to go for a little track walk, but before we do, how was your day?
Fantastic day. It was huge. Started out very cold, wet, and then I got very hot. And well, look at the track now.
It's amazing. We are going to do exactly that. We're going to go for a walk. We're starting here on the back straight. At the finish, we're going to finish this lap and show you why this straight is not actually straight. But for now, let's go for a walk. As Jason mentioned, the track started really wet this morning. It rained a lot yesterday, didn't it, Jace?
It sure did.
But it's grooved up beautifully this afternoon.
Yep, it's definitely dry now. It's not sticking to the bottom of your car.
I tried to get some video this morning, the way that the marbles kind of rolled out towards the outside of the track here, particularly here in turn 1, 2, 3, kind of. It must have been a bit tricky to deal with.
I was watching cars trying to mount big lumps of mud, actually, not drive around them, not drive through them, but go over them. Yeah, it was pretty wild.
You were an ex-Sydney boy. You've probably turned some laps at St Ives over your time. This turn 1, 2, 3 kind of is really reminiscent of that 1989 World Championships, isn't it? The way we go kind of here through turn 1 and then this flip back to the left a little bit. It's a pretty cool replica of that 89 World track.
Yeah, I think that's what they've actually gone for with this track in the track rebuild as well. You know, they want to go back to those old times and recreate the sort of tracks we used to drive on. And look at these curbing, these cement curbs here.
We were talking about the Masami slide. Masami famously in 1989 sliding the RC10 Worlds car through that first turn, and we saw people doing that all day today, catching that curb on the inside. Some of the curbs are a bit steep, but these ones here, not too bad. You were able to kind of ride these curbs all right?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not the best driver or anything, but, you know, I was coming around that point there and almost trying to cut through here, almost in a straight line, and you can do it. You will see cars ride these curbs, and they don't have any issues with it.
As Tony gets down nice and low in a couple of spots, we can really see that the track is anything but smooth too, right? Like, so all different parts of the track, there's bumps. Some of those bumps weren't here this morning, but as the track's dried, it's dried into this kind of really ripply character. Really quite high drip. I just did a couple of laps with your Traxxas TRX1. Thank you so much, but it's quite high traction at the moment.
Yeah, it is. I was actually watching quite a few cars as I was out there filming myself as well. And on some of those corners, it's almost seemed like they just had too much bite. And they were turning in so hard, they were hitting some of those pipes before getting around the corner. So
this turn 3 here, this is one of those curbs that maybe you do want to stay off. We've got, you know, quite a high embankment here. We've seen a couple of cars roll off this curb through the day. Do you have any trouble here yourself?
No, I didn't really hit this curb and it didn't flip over or anything. So I guess it's just a case of a bit of caution. And, you know, these cars can break. And, you know, this isn't a world titles. It's a vintage event. So people are trying to keep these things circulating. And best to use a bit of caution, I would say.
We come out of turn 3 here into the first of the kind of jump sections of the track. We've almost called this a bit of a step on, step off, haven't we? Like, it's a low jump up onto the tabletop and then a little kicker off the back of it, and kind of running directly away from you on the driver's stand.
And this was one of the biggest changes, actually, from last year's track. I don't know if you remember this, but there used to be just 2 small jumps here. You almost had to land short just over ahead of this corner here, but now they've got this big step up. And, you know, even the Traxxas just now, I saw you shooting it off here and it just flew nice and straight.
Yeah.
It wasn't, you know, getting out of control or anything. So it does what it's meant to do.
And we get into then what for me is probably my favourite part of the track to watch, and actually just doing those couple of laps. That's all I've had the chance to do. Another one is almost like a little turtle's back, little turtle shell curb here. And then we ride up the middle of the track into this, we've been calling it a kind of a, you know, corner table, really pretty cool part of the track. What's it been like for you to race this part of the track all day?
Well, this part of the track actually didn't even change much since last year, I've noticed. And a lot of the better drivers will actually come in a bit early here and they will pop over that bit of pipe there.
Yep.
And we even saw that in that last 89 class, you know, as the cars were shooting through here, we were watching them, you know, really just skating over that edge and just cutting through there quickly.
We had one of these corner tables at the Worlds track in Castle Hill just a couple of weeks ago, and you're right, if you get the line right, there's an opportunity here to kind of mid-track and to kind of launch right over the corner, the shortest distance across this corner tabletop. That little Traxxas that I keep talking about it because it's the only car I've driven today, but it was really cool through this section.
Very stable.
Very safe, very stable, and it could really fly across the corner table.
Yeah, and nobody here really got much of an advantage either. Like, we came here early and we had hoped to have a full practice day Wednesday, but that's not what we got, and we were helping around the track and doing things. So nobody really got to cut some laps in and make some setup changes. It was really done on the fly really today because yesterday it was rained out. Trucks unfortunately missed out, but we just get what we've got and we learn as we go.
Tony just showed us, gotten down low there, this really ripply through here as we turn left and we're sweeping back towards the driver's stand here. Another little single jump, a little kicker there, but you can kind of see the ripples, and some of the cars coping better with that than others. Not probably the place to be driving a Tamiya Grasshopper through some of these ripples, but the more modern race cars do
I
okay.
really struggled with the Domhawk, actually, even with Option House Gold shocks, the old school ones, but it really bounced around terribly. And by the time we come around this corner here, actually, this straight has been chopped up badly.
Yeah.
You'll see that it is like a surf's up section now, so the cars were really getting bounced around in this section.
It's almost reminiscent, you called it there, the surf's up section, reminiscent a little bit of the 1991 Detroit World's Track, or maybe the 97, the ripple section, the 97 World's Track, except not completely unlike Detroit. There's nothing soft and loamy about this.
No.
These are hard little bumps. You accelerate all the way through these bumps, and you've really got to set the car up to drive through the bumps. Again, something like the Traxxas does it nicely. Something like your Tomahawk map, perhaps not so much.
No. In fact, what I noticed from the stand is if you could take this wide, actually, it's a bit flatter through this section here. It hasn't been chopped up so much. So if you had some challenges, you could try and come up a little bit wider and maybe miss some of those. But there you go. There's an example right there.
Yeah. The Tamiya, the top force coming through there. And you're right, it is a little smoother on that left-hand side. Then we get into, we're on the front straight here, what we've called the front straight, this little short chute right in front of the driver's stand. Again, we hook into the right. Again, a pretty nicely shaped and sized concrete curb that you can hook a wheel without too much trouble.
Yeah, I wasn't seeing many cars actually flip off this corner or anything if they were riding a wheel up on that corner, so there wasn't too much trouble with that. Yeah, definitely an okay corner in this one.
We do then get to what might be perhaps the trickiest part of the racetrack.
Yep.
We're kind of coming back towards the centre of the track, and we've got a couple of big whoops here and then into a jump, and you lose visibility of the car for a moment, don't you, off the back of this jump as the car lands.
You do.
If you kind of downside that jump, you lose the car.
Yeah, I mean, I think I just saw you driving it now, and the Traxxas, you can pop it straight up over the whole lot and land flat on the other side.
Yeah.
But I guess it just depends on the car and your driving style, and I guess what you're confident doing.
We don't have a concrete curb on the inside here. We've got a kind of an embankment and then the pipe at the top, so you'd want to be a little bit careful. And then the cones of justice to stop anyone kind of shortcutting across the track there. I feel like we might have broken a few front suspension arms today on those cones. Not a lot of room to land, and again, it's really hard to kind of overestimate how ripply and bumpy and kind of rutted this section of the track is. And you can't see it from the driver's stand. Probably can't even see it on camera. You can feel it in the car, can't you?
Yeah. And this corner just here, this cement corner, that is going to flip you for sure.
Yep.
It's not as low, it's a bit high, and yeah, I did see quite a few cars actually flip if they were trying to ride that too early.
This is such an old school track. We've talked all week about how the club's been here since more than 40 years, back since the mid-1980s, and it feels like that, doesn't it? The driver stand's old school, the race control shed's actually been there since the 1980s, and the track has that feel about it. These concrete curbs, this really natural surface that's kind of grooved up, but it's bumpy and it's rough. And we're now into, I guess, what we'd call the main jump section. We've got 2 tabletops in a row. Jace, how have these tabletops treated you today?
Actually, a lot better than last year's, because this is another big change they made here. They did have the big surf up section through here, and I really struggled with like the 834B because that was a short wheelbase car, and I was almost lawn darting into the face, so I really had to slow down. But the TRX one was just maxing through here, longer wheelbase car, more stable. But this year we've now got these 2 step ups or boxes or whatever you want to call them, and most people who can drive can get them over easily, or you can roll them.
It's a short lander, but you can downside both of those tabletops. And then it's almost a little raw, natural kind of edge here. There's no curbing, there's no pipe work on the outside. And then we get into, like, I'm going to call this like a reverse curb. So instead of a concrete curb that sticks up out of the track, you've got a little ditch here on the inside. Are you trying to kind of hook a front wheel into here, or does that bite if you get too much in there?
Well, I was actually trying to stay away from going too close in. Now, this is another section they built up since last year, I'm told. So this was lower, apparently.
It was, yeah.
And they built this up. But yeah, if you come down into that inside corner there, I did see cars getting pulled into that pipe and creating some troubles for them.
And we're kind of at the furthest point from the driver's stand here over in the far left. And you're right, even just on the couple of laps I did, I wasn't quite brave enough to get in too close. I felt like I was just going to get sucked down into the pipe, exactly as you've just said.
Yep.
And then we get to the straight. We're calling it the straight, the dog leg. But it never goes straight. I mean, it's narrow. you know, there's kind of obstacles both sides. There's fences, there's barriers, there's a witch's hat, there's marshals, and the track just keeps on turning and turning and turning. You're on full power through here, I'm guessing.
Yeah, like off this section here, you can see cars will stand off this. And when I've been editing my own videos, I've seen cars, and I'll watch it frame by frame, and I'll watch them lift up and then bring back down. And one car did literally ride meters, you know, last year. And it's much the same.
Unreal.
It is higher, but it does have that, you know. Almost that ramp, and coming up through here through the day, you got quite a bit of shadow from that tree, and you are fighting from the driver's stand to see between the shadows and the sunlight, and it really is hard, probably as for us old aging eyes.
I found it hard to really pick a line through here and stay on the throttle, just in the 3 or 4 laps that I did earlier, and I feel like it would take me a couple of runs to be confident to carry the speed.
100%.
It's obviously you can be flat through here, but you just got to be confident.
Yep. Well, I mean, throughout the day, many cars will come up over those boards or come on the inside.
Catching
and
the pipes.
I guess it's how well you can get the power down through that corner, and a bit of a gentle right up through here, back up to the. I guess maybe this is the actual full straight. After that, so yeah.
It's quite a long period of time on full straight, but that completes a lap for us here at Knox for the Vintage Bash 4.0. It's been a fantastic racetrack. We look around the track, there's banners, some modern banners of course, but some period banners as well. I'm looking down at that Team Associated banner, Jason. We should have stopped there. It says winner of 7 IFMAR World Championships. The 7 is crossed out, 12 is written in, the 12 is crossed out, 15 is written in. It's kind of got some old school banners, you know, along with some new stuff.
As Nia would say, it's had a dispensation. Here at Knox, the word dispensation, I'm not quite sure what it actually really means, but it's ambiguous, but we just go with it.
This is a perfect racetrack for a vintage race like this, isn't it? It's old school. The jumps are not too big, not too many things to hit to break, you know, fragile old cars. It's been fun for you?
It's amazing. And you know what? This is 4th year of Vintage Bash, 3rd year at Knox. And let me tell you something, you've only got to look at the people who come from so far, from other countries, to the most humble little track, probably here in Australia. Can you think of another one? And yet it has such a huge following and so much excitement generated online, and, you know, people travelling from all around the world to come be part of this. And it almost defies logic, but it is what it is, right?
It is exactly what it is. That is a perfect way to wrap up a track walk here at Knox in Melbourne. We're in the eastern suburbs of Melbourne, the southern part of Australia, for Vintage Bash 4.0. A beautiful natural clay surface. You've walked a lap with us. We've showed you some of the highlights of the lap here, what it takes to go fast. Tomorrow we'll do this all again. We'll go four-wheel drive racing, everything from Rockies and Hotshots and Boomerangs and Bulldogs and Zertas right through to double X4s and all of that. It's going to be a fabulous day, Jace. You looking forward to four-wheel drive day?
Four-wheel drive day is my day. That's where I want to be.
Mate, just before we go, for those that don't know you, True Vintage RC, where can people find a little bit more information from you and, you know, all the stuff you're into?
Well, mainly on YouTube nowadays. So I've created videos on these events, and I guess that seems to be part of what gets people interested. So yeah, True Vintage RC on YouTube. But I actually do a lot of my stuff now, of course, on the Knox Vintage page on Facebook. So yeah, most of my stuff goes up there, and that's a good place to start looking if you want to come be part of what goes on here. Beautiful.
Jason Millward, Bormac, True Vintage RC, thank you for doing this track walk with us. Folks, on behalf of RC Race Media, thanks for doing a lap. We hope you enjoy four-wheel drive day tomorrow. Heaps of material over on our Facebook page at RC Race Media or our YouTube channel from across this event and all the other races we get to around the world. Thanks for coming along on this track walk with us. We'll see you next time.